Hey there, I'm Helen King, a brand new singer-songwriter playing the London indie rock music scene. Listen to my personal story on Networking Magazine podcast. From being a music lover from a young age to releasing my own debut album, Look Back No More, out now. 10 tracks of anthemic, melodic, emotive indie rock. You can get a behind-the-scenes glimpse of how it felt to launch my debut album at the iconic London venue The Water Rats on the 11th of February 2025. Look Back No More by Helen King's out now on all major streaming platforms.
Welcome to this edition of Business Talk, the first in our series of business-focused podcasts where we explore the stories behind innovative thinkers and game changers across various industries. Today, we're joined by Samson Adedire, the founder, creative director of HALVES, contemporary sustainable fashion brand that made waves at London Fashion Week last September. With over a decade of entrepreneurial experience, Samson has carved out a niche in the fashion industry, having previously served as creative director for both Black Child Fashion World and Premium Lapel. His journey began at the business school in Hertfordshire, where he graduated in 2023, armed with the knowledge and the passion to make a difference in the world of fashion. Samson believes that fashion can be a powerful force for good, honouring both people and the planet. Today, we'll dive into his inspiring journey, the vision behind HALVES, and the challenges and triumphs he's encountered along the way. Samson, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. We're very eager to get your story across. Let's start with what inspired you to venture into the fashion industry.
Well, that was simple for me. Having worked with Black Child Fashion World and Premium Lapel, it was easy. I would say easy with quotes to start my own brand. However, my first venture into the fashion world came in 2011 when I bought goods on sales here in the UK and I sold it back at full price as a markup in Nigeria. So that was, yeah.
So that was your taster into business?
Well, that was my taste of fashion, really, fashion environment, fashion business, really. It was just about the revenue at first.
Right. Okay, well, can you share a pivotal moment during your time at the business school in Hertfordshire that influenced your career path? I mean, you had that technical knowledge training path. Did it matter? Did it play a part, the education
Yes,
side?
definitely. Definitely, it did matter. And it mattered a lot, in fact, because going into the business school, I went there with my heads up high, knowing that I wasn't just going into the business school for the theoretical aspect of it. I was going with a business acumen, a lived experience of practicing big business. When I got into the business school, I had different questions thrown at me. I was able to answer most of it because, as I said, it was a lived experience for me in business. But there was a pivotal moment in the business school that led to HALVES. So the university has this enterprise team,
Mm-hmm.
and on my first meeting with them, the advisor listened to my story, and then she threw a question at me. What kind of fashion do you do? Is it fast fashion? Is it slow fashion? While she was having that conversation with me, she also asked, what's your business footprint? Now, don't get me wrong. Those questions were not new questions in the grand scheme of things, because I majored in management with logistics and supply chain management. So I've heard of business footprint and what have you. But that was the point where I understood that it mattered going into the business. world,
Right.
the business
Right.
ecosystem here in the UK, and looking at the world as a global village, really. I
Right.
couldn't answer that question. And it was from that point that I started asking questions that led to Halves.
Right. Well, I mean, let's wind forward a little bit, because you did start Halves, but before you started, what motivated you to start Halves? You got a fantastic logo. It looks really well planned,
Thank
well
you.
thought out. Yeah. But what was the motivation to start? I mean, you could have gone a different direction completely. The fashion
True.
world is a very big place, a big landscape, but you decided to start Halves. So how did you do that? Why did you do that?
So after that pivotal moment, and I started researching into the effects of fashion on our environment, on our world, I just couldn't go back to my old self. So that I pivoted my personal journey. So currently I'm a climate risk facilitator. So I became more aware as a person to the effects of uh human effects and climate change. Then I started looking at where do I come in, and I looked at fashion. That was my mainstay at the point. What can I do? I tried to pivot my old brand because I'm also the founder of Premium Lapel. I was the founder and the creative director of Premium Lapel, but I worked with someone at Black Child Fashion World. So my first, my first flip was, let me see if I could pivot Premium Lapel. But I looked at the brands that could do something, and most of them were relying on trade-offs. So you go halfway
Right.
around the world, you plant trees, but you do nothing about your supply chain, about your operations. So I decided that I wanted to make an impact. So don't get me wrong, I'm not against going halfway around the world and providing amenities or
Sure.
being ethical, but I'm against just doing enough. So I believe we can do more, and that
Mhm.
was what prompted me into rebirthing Halves, because Halves was born when I had the conversation, but it was fully formatted when I found out that I could do something about it. So I started looking for people that could support me on my journey. I started looking for people that could make my journey a reality. And that was what really led to Halves.
Excellent. Okay. All right. And in your words, what does sustainable fashion mean? I mean, what does it mean to you personally?
For me, true sustainability is simple. Creating a system that respects our people, that respects the planet, that grants prosperity in equal measure, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, there are people that have been doing sustainable fashion in different ramifications, uh, even before calling it sustainable fashion. So, Vivian Westwood has a word, has a saying rather, and she says, "Buy less, choose well, wear things that last for life." You understand? But that's for our generation. For my own generation, I think we're a bit past that, in the sense that we have to give back to the community that makes those things that we buy in the first place. So when
Yeah.
I mean the community, I mean the people involved in making it. I mean the environment, the planet where we get the materials from. You understand? I mean the entire ecosystem of
Right.
fashion that
So
gives
you're
you
very
what you
much
buy.
hands on. You're very much hands on with the
Yes,
process,
yes,
right? You
definitely.
oversee
Yes,
it.
definitely.
Okay. And sort of what do you believe is important for fashion to be a positive force for people and the planet going forward? Is your footprint going to be the standard? Do you think most fashion designers should be adhering to your kind of ecosystem?
Well, I I would refrain from saying my kind of ecosystem, in the sense that I'm already plugged in into a community.
Right.
So there's that saying that says no man is an island. So
Yes.
you've got a community of people who are like-minded, like myself. And when it comes to designers, emerging designers, already established designers, I think they should also be more inclined into plugging into that community. So you have different ways where you can come in through your design elements, through your design process, and effectively affect the entire fashion ecosystem.
And what about Halves? I mean, your core values, your mission statement for Halves, what is it? What is your message that you want to put out for your brand?
Yes, that's for me. As the name sounds, is a balance and a duality of defining what the environmental care looks like, what the care for our people looks like, and also fashion. Because don't get me wrong, I'm talking about this love for the environment, love for our people. With fashion, you have to be aesthetically pleasing also. With
Right.
fashion, you have to be effective when it comes to layering of clothes for different temperatures, for different environments, for different climates. He has to be effective. So you don't forget that fact also, and that's where Alves comes in. Well, the design philosophy of thinking, yes, we want to do what fashion actually does, which is covering first and foremost, and then presentation, how you look, how people approach you, and a whole lot of other elements, and also the demands of our modern world, of our modern environment, really. So that's what our core value is, making sure that we're able to balance both. And our mission is always simple, making sure that our core values shone through our entire value chain, right from the designing, the procurement, the manufacturing, up until even the last mile, and our definitely educating our, I call them partners, not customers this time around, educating our partners about what our brand stands for and what environmental care looks like.
So what was it like for you debuting your collection at the London Fashion Week? You know, that must have been quite a milestone for you. There you are. You've kind of launched. You're there. How did it feel for you? I mean, it must have felt kind of amazing, really, full circle.
Yes. First, I've got to appreciate the British Fashion Council. They made last year's Fashion Week SS26 have a major sustainability inclination. You understand? So that sort of gave people like myself that confidence that we're going into, as I said before, an like accepted community.
Right.
You get me. So
Yeah.
that really helped, and I didn't feel out of place. You understand?
Yeah.
I went in. It was a, to be precise, it was a Renaissance fashion show, and
Yeah.
I went into that environment, into that venue, knowing that the entire team for the fashion week is inclined to what I am trying to do as a designer, to what my brand stands for as a fashion brand, really. So it
And
was,
how did it? What was the reception like? I mean, when they saw you and saw your
yes.
collection, what was it like?
Well, I wouldn't say I wasn't totally not nervous.
It's,
You understand?
I
It's
would
my
be.
first time.
Yeah, I
It's
would
my
be.
first time. Yes, but the reception that I got, as I said about the organizers, also the reception that I got, immediately my models went on the runway. The kind of ovation that I got made me excited. So by the time I went out for the workout, also I felt confident. I felt excited. It was a cocktail of
Sure,
emotions that I can't
sure.
start going through right now. But
Yeah,
I was at peace. You know, I had that
yeah.
calm in me that yes, I wasn't doing anything that wasn't accepted. I saw I had people both in the industry and just or the audience come up to me. We had conversations
Right.
about some technical conversations about the design elements for people in the industry, and just people outside the audience telling me how they would like to purchase and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I
Really
I,
good.
I got
Yeah.
I got the kind of reception that I think a designer would really want, really.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. Okay, and sort of what were the challenges that you faced in building Halves as a brand? Was it difficult for you? I mean, getting technical abilities from a university or from a college is extremely different from putting it all into practice. What kind of challenges did you have as a designer along the way?
Well, when I get asked that question, I say the same thing. And I would say the same thing also now. The most challenging part of building house has been sustainability. And the most exciting part of building house also has been sustainability. So trying to make house sustainable, keeping to our sustainable ethos has been really difficult.
Right,
Right
right,
from the design process, we've got three design pillars, three production pillars really, and fine tuning those production pillars to keep within the confines of what the brand stands for, what
right,
the brand
right.
is trying to achieve was a difficult one.
You've got.
However,
Mhm.
sorry,
Sorry,
however,
Antoine.
it's all right. However, because we were able to achieve some success doing that, that also showed us that there's nothing impossible. So, we've gotten results that has served as a stepping stone for the next level. And really, really, it was difficult. It was difficult putting together a team that understood what we were trying to achieve was
Yeah,
difficult. Working on the designs, coming up with the designs with the kind of pattern cutting method was difficult.
right,
Sourcing those fabrics, the products, making sure that the leathers were dyed in an environmental friendly way was
right,
difficult. Alternatively, going for air drying opposed to oven drying because we're trying to reduce our carbon waste was
right.
difficult. So I could go as into the nitty gritties like that and tell
Sure,
you,
sure.
yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of difficult touch points. But
yeah,
in the end, the fact that we were able to achieve what
yeah,
we wanted to achieve, maybe not fully,
yeah.
because there are still a lot of things that we hope we can do better in the next collection as we grow as a brand, but that we've started in this way, being able to achieve some touch points that we set out to achieve has been the exciting point of starting a brand like ours.
You wear a lot of heads, don't you? You've got to do the planning, you've got to be involved in the design work, you've got to do. Is that a
Yes.
modern business methodology that you are sort of you wear many heads as the owner, founder of a business? You've got to keep your eye on every aspect, including finance.
Yes. I think as a founder and not just as a fashion brand founder now, as a founder, you have to wear many hats when you set up a new enterprise. And being the fact that I've been in business for over a decade, I understood what I was going to into. However, is each enterprise is always different.
Sure.
So you've always got different tones and tunes that you have to just navigate. And it's exciting for me because I've been through this before in a
Yeah.
different way, in a different country, in a different economy, with different set of people. So I've been through that before. I'm able to learn from that, as I said, lived experience.
Yes.
But now I'm writing a different story with us. So yes, you're right. I'm wearing different caps, and whenever I'm putting on a different cap, I have to make sure that to my best, I optimize being in that role at that time. And
Yeah.
I surround myself also with talented people. So don't get me wrong, I can't do everything all by myself. My
Nobody
team, the
can.
house team,
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
the house team, they are a bunch of talented people, well curated people,
Right.
and we become more than just colleagues. We become like a family that will work together,
Right.
knowing and understanding the common goal that we're trying to achieve. Really.
Sure. What are your aspirations for Halves? I mean, what do you see for the brand in the short, medium, and long term?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
She's an emerging talent in the modelling world who makes no secrets of also balancing her time with music and digital media, working with iconic brands such as Yves Saint Laurent, Revolution Makeup and Shane, to name a few. Maria Valentina shares her professional and personal journey with us. Maria's magazine editorial is available on our website in glossy print and in a Catwalk Diaries digital magazine. Visit networkingmagazine.co.uk or check out our bio for details.
Well, that's a good question. I think the the long term is more refined than the short term, because as I said, being a founder, you have to understand that iteration is your best friend. So the short term goals change from time to time. We try to keep that as honest as possible.
Sure.
But the long term goal remains the fact that we want to build a fashion brand that is sustainable in its entire value chain.
Right.
I'm a sustainable supply chain professional, so I look at I look at the brand beyond just the fashion. So that's what I'm saying, the entire value chain. So right from the design process, people that would work on that, myself included, we would make sure that sustainability is our topmost goal, up
Right.
until the guys at the end of the logistics, people that are dealing with the last mile delivery. In fact, I would, by the time we go fully into market, we would have some schemes that would probably help with that, like incentivizing poodle boxes compared to door post deliveries. You
Right.
understand, just to
Yeah.
save on the carbon emissions and things like that. So
Yeah.
for me, I look at the brand holistically, look at the different touch points of the value chain. I've got our board, our vision board that I look at, and I say to myself, all right, how can we get to the next level? So
Right.
that's the long term goal. The short term goal right now is our next collection, which would also come out next September. You
Okay.
understand? So
Yeah.
we've got the medium term goal is for us to make certain numbers in revenue, but most importantly, have certain effects to our environment, to our community, to our people as a whole, and to the fashion industry.
I'll be certainly putting your details, your Instagram details in the podcast description box.
Okay.
So Samson, tell me about fundraising, what sort of things you're doing for Halves at the moment. Are you looking for finance? Are you looking for other, for venues to do your fashion shows between now and next year's, launch? What kind of things are you looking for at the moment? If you had a wish list.
Yes, I do have a wish list. Thank you for that.
That's all
So
right.
yes. So we would start our crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo on the 20th of January, which is tomorrow.
Yeah.
We've created different tiers of rewards that we would be giving out to our backers. This is because as currently we're bootstrapping, and I've decided to bootstrap up to a point to show that this brand, yes, we are for profit, but we are for our planet and people first. So that's that first. We would also be discussing with investors, most likely angel investors, really,
Right.
because we want people that come on board to also understand what our long-term goal looks like. So it's not just about revenue turnover for us, but we've got a purpose and we want to stick to our purpose. And anyone that comes on backing us through equity financing, through crowdfunding, they know we're going to continue to work towards that purpose, really. So that's just my wish list looks like.
What's the
For a
bet? What?
medium term,
Sorry,
sorry,
I've done it again,
yeah.
haven't I?
No,
Right.
it's all right. It's all right. I keep breaking in there. So let me just quickly round
yeah,
out for
yeah.
the medium term. For the medium term, we would like to go on the listing for the fashion week, for the London Fashion Week, as the name says, Halves London. So firstly, we were designed in London, built up in London, with some part of our production is in London, still in London. So we want to go on the main stage. We want to be listed as one of the brands for the London Fashion Week. So that's the medium term goal, which we're hoping to hit by next September. So anyone who's ready to connect us to the British Fashion Council, I'm more than open to have that conversation, really. Thank you.
Yeah, right. Okay. And that's really ambitious and obtainable, I think. You've got a great brand, great logo, great
Thank you.
your education plays a big part in this as well. Okay, well, what
Thank you.
advice do you have if there are other aspiring entrepreneurs looking at you and thinking, well, I want to be just like you. I want to be like Samson.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for that question. Thank you for that question. First thing you should know is you can't build something meaningful alone. So I started with partnering with my enterprise team from the university that I went to, from the business school. So just as a designer, you know, you should have that goal in your mind, and then look for people that you can build that goal together. So those people would play pivotal role in whatever you want to build. That's the first thing. Secondly, as a supply chain expert, I look at systems. So for me, I look at the system and I'm able to look at how do I optimize the system. So look at how you can optimize systems. Look at how you can optimize the fashion industry. It doesn't matter if you want to do any part of fashion now. If you want to niche yourself to any part of the fashion industry, look at the system that works in that niche and see a way of improving that system. Personify that system for yourself and improve it for the better community. And lastly, you're going to work with people. So make sure that anyone that you come across, you are able to not just take from them, but also pass value to them. So mutual value sharing is very important, and that's what I try to do. Even as currently we've got that attached. Let me quickly just say that currently we've got that attached to the business right now is a mutual knowledge transfer with a small business clinic of the London Metropolitan University. We take on students, they are able to work in the business, and then when I say we, not just myself, the house team will mentor them in different ways. So
Wow.
I've got over a decade of entrepreneurial acumen. I'm able to have conversations with people that are just going into the business school. I'm able to help them with their academics, with what it
Sure.
looks like
Okay.
shaping a goal. So we do that also right now, and we are looking to do more. But
Right.
just make sure that you can pass value to the next person in as much as you do want value from them. That's it for me.
Wise words, Samson. Thank you very much for joining us today. It was a
Thank you
delight
for
to have
having
you
me.
on the show, and we wish you all the best of luck with Halves, and definitely one to watch. We're going to make sure that we put your Instagram details in the podcast description box. If you'd like to
Thank
follow
you.
Samson's journey, please get in touch with him or give him a follow and a like on his social media platforms. If you would like to feature on our business show, please get in touch with us on Instagram or via Linktree. Details are in the podcast description box too. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. Till next time, bye for now. Cypher Issue 2 is out now. In this edition, we feature singer-songwriter Kelsey Watts, who performed on The Voice. She's just released her new single, Fit In. We also interview Helen King, a talented indie singer-songwriter who's gaining international attention. Actor and producer Jonathan Stoddard shares his personal and professional journey with us, and we also talk to martial artist James Sang Lee, who's worked as an actor, stuntman and fight choreographer in movies like Lethal Weapon 4 and Plane, starring Gerard Butler. You can buy Cypher in print or read it online at our website, networkingmagazine.co.uk. Check the bio for details.